Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Just wanted to do a precious metals update. Precious Metals Hub channel on YouTube has reached a milestone of 100 subscribers. And it looks like I'm getting about 300 to 400 views a day, so that's a big step up from when I wasn't updating my YouTube channel. So I really appreciate everyone that subscribed. 100 subscribers is nothing compared to what can be, so keep sharing, keep liking, keep commenting, and I appreciate all the comments as well. So there you have it. I appreciate you all. Something in the news: the ECB pushes interest rates down to negative negative 0.1%, and all this is doing is increasing the bank's ability to print and to create credit, and it eliminates the ability to save money. For instance, if you put your money in a savings account, you're not going to get any interest. With inflation and now a negative interest rate set by central bank monetary policy, there is no way to save money. If it sits in a savings account, it's losing its purchasing power by the day. And if this is going to happen in the ECB, what's going to happen in the United States? Are they going to do the same thing? It is a currency war, and it's basically central banks printing money to see who can devalue their currency, and they all meet at the bottom sooner or later. If you want to get a detailed description of what negative interest rates set by monetary policy is, Alistair McLeod with Chris Martenson. If you don't know who Chris Martenson is, he's the one that produced the Crash Course. If you have not seen that, I would definitely highly recommend it. It's a long one, but well worth it. So Chris Martenson and Alistair McLeod go over the negative effects on savers. It basically eliminates savers and allows the banks to print money by creating debt. So they're just doing the same thing. It's equivalent. It's equivalent to our quantitative easing, our printing of treasuries, where these guys are just pushing interest rates down so the banks can lend more. They're forced to lend more, and it's creating an incentive to lend, but it's abolishing the savers. And if you don't have savers, you don't have a healthy economy. They won't be consumers for long. Their money's going to be worthless. So anyways, if you want to watch that, goes over a detailed description of what happens with negative interest rates. And basically they go over the fact that no one's really understanding what a devastating effect this is going to have. Because, you know, they lower it to negative interest rates, and they're like, oh, well, it's just for a little while. We'll raise them back up. But you see, it never happens. It's just a trap. And things are not looking good. So, you know, they lower interest rates, and then the euro rises. It's like nothing makes any sense anymore. Silver Doctors had Eric Sprott on last week. I highly recommend you listening to Eric Sprott. They refer to him as the Admiral to precious metals. He's a fundamentalist to physical markets in precious metals, and he goes over, the great demand is still on in the physical gold and silver markets. He goes over how China is importing most of all of the yearly supply, and he's just asking the question, where is all the gold coming from? Where are they getting these supplies? So he goes over a little bit of that. Goes over the Barclays traders fine for gold manipulation, and how there's 240 something days in the year for trading, and this was just one instance. A rogue trader did this, and that's what the mainstream media wants you to think. But then the Financial Times comes out and says, has this been going on all along, and this and that. So it's going mainstream, and the silver fix is ending. But Eric Sprott says, stay out of the options and future markets for these derivative gold and silver made-up markets. You got to stay out. They don't make any sense. There's nothing fundamental about them. The physical demand has, well, Silver Doctors goes over the fact that American Eagles are set to make another record in sales in American Eagles this year. So China's importing like 4 tons per day. Where is it all coming from? These derivative markets are just a sham. And Eric Sprott says, I'm a fundamentalist. I pay attention to physical markets. And he says if we all just concentrate on physical markets and not play the game in the futures and options markets, we have a good chance to destroying these evil bankers, which is true. I mean, silver is referred to as the Achilles heel, and so on and so forth. So I highly recommend. Eric Sprott asked, did I lose 10 million from Barclays gold takedown? And he's just being sarcastic, but go back, and he's asking all these traders to go back and see how much money they lost on that option expiration day. So these kind of stories are going mainstream. Hopefully something will happen to where we'll have another free market. SGT Report posted a Sprott Money News, and I forget the trader's name that was interviewed, but he goes over the fact that all the rest of the commodities don't have a price fix, and we don't need a price fixing. These price fixings have manipulated gold and silver, but they also set the prices for all other commodities. So look forward to, after the silver fix and gold fix ending, prices of all commodities being reset and going to their true value. Another thing I forgot, Eric Sprott mentioned, either palladium or platinum. I think it was palladium. Palladium's like 3% from its highs, its all-time highs, and it doesn't have a futures market. It doesn't have a price fixing. It's what happens in a market without derivatives. So there you have it. A lot to look forward to when the silver fix ends. More than likely the gold fix will end, and then everyone will wake up to the fact that these derivatives markets are just a sham, and hopefully we can get away from this central banking scam credit-based system that we've all been slaved to. The walls are crashing in, though. Hopefully soon. As I mentioned earlier in my silver fix ends, what's going to happen? Looks like Kitco is touting that they're the biggest precious metals site in the world, and the consensus is in that everyone wants to get a digital price platform for the precious metals, which is a joke because it would, like Bix Weir says, it's going to be a disaster. Who's going to be able to figure or control derivatives in a high-frequency trading platform with digital pricing, digital price fixes? It would be worse manipulation and probably harder to catch. So there you have it. Kitco's coming out. Propaganda. Everyone wants a digital price platform, which is a joke. The LME, the CME, they all want to get together and figure out how they're going to make sure that they can keep on this, what do they call it, electronic auction option. What a joke. Okay, so they haven't learned any lessons, and please don't get your news from Kitco because they're mainstream media when it comes to precious metals. They don't report on the real stuff. They only tell you what you want to hear, and it's just they're not all there. I don't think they're tied in with the central banks. I don't trust them. So Rob Kirby came out today on Wall Street for Main Street, basically touting the same thing. You know, the derivatives market's going to close. They're going to collapse. The unsustainable. Belgium's buying treasury bonds, and Belgium's insolvent. So it's, and the mainstream media is like, oh, everything's fine. You know, other countries are buying our bonds. They're buying our debt. And Belgium's like, they're insolvent. They need their own bailout. So what happens is, you know, they get some kind of swap account, and that's all it is. I'm not sure on the technicals, but Belgium is not in the position to be buying America's debt. That is for sure. All right, so real quick, here we have, this is a daily chart on silver. As you can see from its lows, it's coming up a little bit. Nothing to be proud of. It looks more like a dead cat bounce. And like I mentioned before, let me just switch this over to a weekly. Oop. There we go. All right. So we have a descending triangle. And like I said, the descending part of the line needs 3 points. Now it doesn't have to have 3 points, but I imagine this is going to come up to 2050, approximately. 2050 is like a um, support and resistance line in the silver market here. So I imagine it's going to go to 2050. It's going to bounce off, and we're going to see some lower lows. That's the way I see it. There is no trading going on. I imagine all the professional traders out there are not touching this derivatives market anymore, especially when the silver fix is going to end. Why would they go out and buy some options or futures contracts? Doesn't make any sense, does it? So in essence, I think that they are going to just pummel this thing. The central banks are going to try to cover their shorts. So in order to do that, they need to drop the price. And when the silver fix ends, hopefully we cannot go to this digital price fixing platform based off derivatives. It's just, I don't understand what these people, who these people are. They need to go away. We need free markets again. Alright, so nothing really going on. I think it's going down ultimately after it hits the third point on this down line. And I hope it doesn't. I hope it goes up. I would love it if it goes up. It just doesn't look like it. But remember, this is a derivatives market. If you have a chance to buy physical, please do. And here is the gold. Okay, it's a daily chart. After being pummeled, it is recovery is not substantial at all. Doesn't look good for gold as well. Let's change it over to the weekly. Now I keep saying that it does have a bullish pattern, the reverse head and shoulders, but these things are, this is not a true market, so anything can happen. The probability of this going up in a real market is very high, but this reverse head and shoulders pattern doesn't look like it's trading very much. The trading range is not behaving like a bullish, like right now it should be completing the pattern. So you should see higher volume, higher prices, but this thing got knocked down, and I'm just not sure if this thing is gonna hold up. 1200 is the breaking point. 1250, we're only 54 points away. 1250 is a nice support line, but doesn't look good. I think they're going to do the same thing. They're just going to drop this thing because they know their game is ending. That's the way I see it. Alright, so thanks for everyone for coming to the Precious Metals Hub prices update for June 9th, 2014. Please visit my site for all your precious metals needs. I got JM Bullion, SD Bullion from Silver Doctors, Euro Pacific Capital from Peter Schiff's company. I got American Bullion, Perpetual Assets with the precious metals debit card. Euro Pacific Capital also has a debit card for international trade. If you invest in Euro Pacific Capital, Peter Schiff will put you in countries, investments in countries that are not insolvent. So he's on top of the game, as everyone knows. Perpetual Assets, they have a debit card. Very interesting. Get yourself on the gold standard. This is how you do it. The debit cards, you buy and spend on precious metals. Do not hold your money in the bank. You're losing money. And then Regal Assets is the top-rated IRA. Transfer your fiat money to gold or silver. It's a free transfer. You'll have to pay the powers that be, when you sell all your 401ks, you got to pay the capital gains or whatever it is. So it's well worth it. Get yourself off of this fiat money system. Pounding the table on this one. Things are not looking good, but the physical market's looking like, the whole world knows what's going on. But something like 10% of Americans are actually out there buying gold and silver every month. It's ridiculous. So, thanks for coming by my site. Thanks for the hangouts. I'm trying to make sure that these hangouts are going to do it. After I figure things out, I'm going to set a date probably every day and do a hangout. So hopefully you're all listening, and we'll pop your head in to give a shout out. And everyone's opinion's welcome. It's probably hard to say, but there's no stupid questions. Everyone's got to wake up somehow. So if you're intrigued, come by, say hi. And that's about it for today. One more thing is Silver Doctors came out with probably like 20 minutes ago, came out with the second half of the Jim Willie. Let me see if this will work. It looks like my broadband's being taken up for the hangout, but looks like 1 hour ago, Jim Willie's most shocking claim ever just came out. 40-minute long interview, so everyone needs to watch that. Silver Doctors does a great job. Always entertaining. Alright, so that's it for me. Buy some precious metals. When you think of precious metals, think of Rusty's Metals. Come by and buy some precious metals so I can buy some precious metals. Makes a lot of sense. See ya.